Everyone has experienced something traumatic, whether that's being in a car accident, witnessing the effects of war, or just watching a horror movie. Now, most people try to go on with their lives and find it difficult because trauma has the ability to cause permanent chemical, psychological, and social change in a person. Therefore, traumatic events can cause irreparable damage to the mind and body of an individual and may lead to certain psychological side effects such as post-traumatic stress disorder. But now, to understand traumatic memories, we first need to understand memories themselves. Now, memories have been divided by researchers into two categories: long-term memory and short-term memory. Now, short-term memory is where you remember what you had for breakfast this morning or someone's phone number and can only hold about 7 items at a time. Long-term memory, on the other hand, is a little bit more complicated. It's been divided into two subcategories called declarative and non-declarative memory. Now, declarative memory deals with verbally expressing episodic memories or personal experiences. It also deals with semantic memories or facts and knowledge a person can retain. Non-declarative memories, on the other hand, are expressed through actions and behavior and as a result of learning and conditioning. This is also where emotional responses reside. Now, people have found that memories are stored more vividly and for longer periods of time when they have affected a person emotionally. Some of the hormones that are released are epinephrine and cortisol. And when these hormones are released, they generate a more vivid, strengthening memory reaction. And this also explains why trauma memory is embedded so deeply into a person's database. Now, dealing with trauma can be just as horrific as the event that caused it. Some people deal with, as a side effect of trauma, questioning of reality, a feeling of hopelessness, constant terror, or a fear of one's own well-being. Another side effect of trauma is a disorder called post-traumatic stress disorder. And people have developed a number of factors that are cause of post-traumatic stress disorder, such as a threat to life, physical injury, loss of home, death, and exposure to the grotesque. Now, many people who have been through trauma relive the experience later on. This is known as a traumatic flashback, and this is why traumatic memory is very unique. Now, it may seem like trauma memory can change a person permanently and damage them forever, but not all hope is lost, because traumatic memories, like all memories, are malleable and subject to change. Research shows that people who have had something traumatic happen to them would begin to change the story in their minds as they recall it, eventually leading to the disappearance of the facts and the story in their head becoming the reality. Trauma memories are also skewed by chemicals in the brain that are released. When you're experiencing something traumatic, certain hormones are released, and that can cause a distortion in the memory as well. Another thing researchers have found is when people are verbally recalling a memory, it's difficult and sometimes impossible to recall it accurately. They don't really know why this happens, but some think it's the tendency of people to try and forget the memory, try and get themselves away from the traumatic event as much as possible. That leads to distorting or deleting the memory entirely. They've also found that high states of emotional arousal are necessary for recall. So in order for someone to accurately remember something, they would need to experience the emotions that they felt during the event, which is very difficult. And this is why eyewitnesses in court cases seem ineffective, because the brain naturally distorts memories, and therefore a witness verbally recalling something seems inapplicable. So, like all other memories, also, trauma memories are susceptible to time and are subject to change. So the process to do so, however, is very difficult and also time dependent. But an awareness for the side effects of trauma is what's important here. Society needs to recognize the difficulty people face when dealing with trauma and long-term effects that are associated with it, such as PTSD. A need for more research for the tendency of people to warp the content and of an event possibly due to chemical change or consequence, as well as the natural effect that time has on the brain. We also need more research for the credibility of memories as well. Now, each day is an opportunity for trauma to happen. Knowing what the effects of trauma are and that they are normal is the first step in the recovery process. Awareness of the consequences of trauma can help people obtain a understanding of helps people better obtain a better understanding of those who have been through trauma, and will also assist in the recovery process for themselves. Thank you.